They say progress is always good. But what if the biggest leap forward in human history was actually a trap? This is the story of how humans, in their search for comfort and stability, ended up building the first cages for themselves. A revolution that promised freedom, but instead created the first 9-to-5 life in history. Episode 2: The Agricultural Revolution, the biggest trap in history. For millions of years, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. They roamed forests and grasslands, following the rhythm of nature. Their lives were simple: no kings, no taxes, no property. They ate a variety of plants, hunted wild animals, and when food ran out, they simply moved on. But about 12,000 years ago, something changed. Somewhere in the Fertile Crescent, the land we now call the Middle East, humans discovered that they could plant seeds, wait for them to grow, and harvest food without wandering. At first, it seemed like a miracle. Why chase after animals when you can make food grow outside your hut? One plant in particular changed everything: wheat. But here's the twist. Harari says we didn't domesticate wheat. Wheat domesticated us. Think about it. Before agriculture, humans spent maybe 6 hours a day gathering food. After agriculture, they worked from sunrise to sunset, clearing fields, watering crops, and protecting them from pests and drought. Wheat made us stay in one place. We built fences, stored grain, and raised families around the field. Suddenly, humans were the servants, and wheat was the master. At first glance, farming seemed better. More food means more people, right? Yes, but also more disease, more toil, and less freedom. Hunter-gatherers had protein-rich diets and flexible schedules. Early farmers, on the other hand, ate mostly grain, worked harder, and were more vulnerable to famine. If a storm destroyed your crops, you starved. If an invader burned your village, you lost everything. And because food could now be stored, for the first time in history, inequality was born. Those who controlled the grain controlled the people. As harvests grew, people began settling in permanent villages. They built houses, walls, and storehouses. But with property came problems. If this land is mine, then that one must be yours. And now we need rules, guards, and soldiers to protect it. So we invented laws, governments, and hierarchies. Society became more complex, but not necessarily happier. What began as cooperation turned into control. And the seeds of civilization were also the seeds of stress. The agricultural revolution didn't make life easier. It just allowed more people to live harder lives. More food equals more children. More children equals more mouths to feed. So people had to work even more to grow even more food. The cycle never ended. Humanity didn't plan this. It just happened. Step by step, generation after generation, people became trapped in a system they couldn't escape. And humans weren't the only ones trapped. Animals like cows, pigs, and chickens were domesticated too, but not for their benefit. They became food factories. Billions of animals lived short, painful lives because of the same revolution that advanced humanity. In a strange way, both humans and animals lost their freedom to the same master, agriculture. Yet from that trap, civilization was born. Villages became towns, towns became cities, and cities became empires. Agriculture made it possible to build temples, armies, and the first written records, because now, for the first time, we had surplus. That surplus created rulers, priests, merchants, and soldiers. It allowed art, science, and technology to emerge, but it all began with one simple idea. Let's plant a seed and stay. So, was the agricultural revolution a mistake? Harari doesn't give a simple answer. It was both a curse and a gift. It gave us civilization, but also hierarchy. It gave us security, but stole our freedom. It made us the rulers of the planet, but slaves to our routines. Maybe that's the real tragedy of progress. Once we step into the cage, we forget it ever existed. 12,000 years later, we still wake up to alarms, work long hours to earn food, and dream of weekends, not so different from the first farmers. In the next episode, we'll explore how humans began to unite under shared systems, money, empires, and religions, the three forces that turned scattered tribes into one global civilization. Because after all, to rule the world, you don't need power. You just need enough people to believe in the same story.